I will be one of the moderators for this event. I shall be co-hosting this event, this wonderful event with the beautiful Oyinkansola Talabi. This event is tagged, specially tagged Nollywood. And I'm sure most people have been wondering why, sorry, not Nollywood, MEDIWOOD rather. Why did we name it MEDIWOOD? We wanted it to be unique. I wanted you guys to smile when you say the name as well. So we have a list of 8 wonderful documentaries and short films that will be centered around 2 sub-themes. I'll be hosting the first aspect of this event, and beautiful Miss Oyinkansola will be hosting the second aspect. You can already see her. You can already see her. So the first screening is themed gender-based violence, rape, sickle cell anemia, social justice, and good governance. And the essence of us screening this film is to have a health conversation around it. So after the first 4 films or documentaries have been screened, you can go ahead to ask your questions, or if you have any additional comments, feel free to use the chat box or indicate using the raise hand emoji. Now, before I proceed, I would like to encourage us to minimize any form of distraction, because nobody likes any form of distraction when they're watching a movie. Secondly, kindly fill the feedback form, which will be made available in the chat box. We love feedback. We want to know how we can improve. And just to reiterate, please don't watch the movie and forget yourself. Pen down your conversation so we can have questions. I would also like to encourage our directors in the building to rename themselves to directors so we can know who you are. And if you have any further questions, you can send them to me privately. Thank you very much. And moving speedily to the first aspect of this glorious event, we shall start with the first film titled A Boy's Tale by Twamsin Dana. I hope I pronounced that right. Twamsin Dana, A Boy's Tale.
Stop disturbing me with your ugly singing. You do nothing all day but sit, eat, and shit. You're just a waste. But my husband, what have I done to provoke you? I just hummed. What harm has that done to you? How dare you speak to me? You dare to speak to me when I talk? But my dear, I was just trying. I see you still feel you can interrupt me when I speak. Please, leave my mommy alone, leave her. Leave my mommy. Shut your damn mouth, boy. Please let him be. Shut him up or I will. Please keep quiet, my sweet child. I'm sorry, but Daddy never meant to hurt you. It's my fault. I never should have spoken back at you, Daddy. Forgive me, son. No son of mine will be so weak. Crying like a girl. You're not my son. I'm sorry, my boy. I'm sorry, my boy. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, son. Don't listen to what your father has said. I'm sorry, my boy. Please forgive me. Please keep quiet.
Get in here, boy.
Thank you very much. Am I the only one that feels some form of goosebumps? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. I have my questions and I'm reserving them to the end of this session. Let me introduce the next film for this evening. It is titled A Cry for Help by Esohe Uwigwe. I hope I pronounced that right as well. Esohe, A Cry for Help.
Mama once told me, when I become a woman, I'll get to carry my own. She said it will take time, so be patient, for I'll be a child for a long time. My innocence will be my pride. She said I will learn to play in the sun with my peers. With reckless abandon, I will giggle and fill the air with the innocence of my laughter. She said I will grow into a woman, but little did I know. She was telling a tale I would never get to live. A tale of a woman I would never get to become. Little did we know. Mama's tale stuck to the roof of her mouth. Prophecies that died before they saw the light of day. My innocence was snatched. Daddy said it was a plaything so we could toy with it. Little did we know. He would rob me of the innocence Mama once spoke about. Mama forgot her prophecies, denied her allegiance, and told me to bottle the secret and swallow my tongue. So I covered my bruised body in shame, shut my mind to the pain. Mama lied when she said I would be a child for a long time. My innocence was snatched, and I had to be a woman long before I became a woman. They lied. I don't know about you, but I am tired. Tired of having to scrub the pain of our children off the memory of a heinous crime. Tired of having to watch them relieve their trauma in the darkness of their palms. So take the stand with me and save our children. And then maybe we can bring ourselves to a place where we unite, where we can somehow overcome traditions and every flawed standard the world has boxed us into becoming. Maybe we can find common ground to bring ourselves to a place where we jointly stand against silence, with the understanding that silence is a form of dying while living. And it is not what we kill this pain, fades this trauma, this deadly thing that swallows the future of our children, with the understanding that silence is only freedom to the perpetrators. Maybe we can bring ourselves to understand that our loyalty is first to our children, to put in place a system that caters for the mental, physical, and psychosocial well-being of victims of sexual and gender-based violence. A system that is not scared to name and shame the real villain in this story, no matter their color or status.
I needed to take in a deep breath first. That was really powerful storytelling. So I also have questions for you as well. So expect me soon. So we are going to play the next film titled Rancor by Sebastian Ukwa. Rancor by Sebastian Ukwa.
How long do you intend keeping this from him?
I really don't know. But Richard must not find out. Please help me save my marriage. Please.
Your son has sickle cell anemia.
No, not my son.
Maybe this will convince you. How long do you intend keeping this from him?
I really don't know. But Richard must not find out. Please help me save my marriage. Please.
Am I going to die?
Hey. No. Don't say that, okay? You're not going to die. You'll be fine. Okay? Don't ever say that. Okay?
Your son has sickle cell anemia. I'm so sorry for keeping you guys waiting. It's nothing to worry about. Your son is just reacting to it's Amarachi. Just come with me.
Wow.
I'm going to die. Hey, no, don't say that, okay?
But you should not have manipulated your genotype test result. You should have told him the truth before marriage.
Richard won't have married me if I had told him. I love him.
My dear, love alone is not enough for marriage. It's not about getting married, but staying married.
So now wetin carry you come here with that?
Richard and I were friends back in school. Kate had a soft spot for him. But Richard loves me. Which explains why she told him about my genotype without my consent. He divorced me.
You come kill your husband?
No!
Nígbà tí wọ́n kúrò nínú yàrá tí ọmọ yín wà, mo wọlé. Ọmọ yín sùn gbẹ́ẹ́rẹ́ àfi bí ẹni tó ti kú. Mo wá yẹ̀ ẹ́ wò. Mo rí i wípé ọmọ yín ò mí mọ́ rárá. Ni mo bá lu aago láti pe dókítà mi. Mo sá jáde kíákíá torí ara mi ò lè gba ohun tójú mi rí. Dókítà Kate ló pa ọmọ yín.
I'm so sorry for keeping you guys waiting.
As if sleeping with my husband was not enough.
Though my son had sickle cell anemia, but my son didn't die of a natural cause.
Hello, this is Leah Sharibu. You have reached 767 Nigerian emergency line. Please state your name and location.
My name is Olufumilayo Balogun, and I'm calling from Calabar South, Mount Zion by Sebastian Street Extension.
Okay, Olufumilayo Balogun, please state your emergency.
I just killed someone.
Now woman you be.
confessional statement, this court finds you guilty of murder of Dr. Kate Bassey. Consequently, you are hereby sentenced to life imprisonment.
I'm just going to take a cue from everyone, putting it in the chat box. Deep, very deep. That's my only comment. And lastly, for this session, we have Vindication by young Chimezium Charles. Vindication by young Chimezium Charles.
Emeka, you check your buy now. Good. Women know when come out. So put your one. Mission is out. Don't wish. So Mr. Bishop, Allah. Move away. Emeka. Kutopa. Era chikia. Era. Emeka. 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 Era chikia. Emeka. Emeka. Kutopa.
Me ne ke faruwa nan? Me yasa kuna gami mai haya na?
Wai waye ne?
Ke baka waye ni ba, amma sai na ba wannan gari. Alhaji. Yawa, ka ci Alhaji. Ai ka waye ni. Baban ka bai waye ni ba.
Ina nan da yake zama gidan nan wai na bautan kasa.
Wani yaron da na bauta kasa kamar ya? Wannan yaro karmi kofa din nan, doctor mai kirki. Wanda yana yi ma yara mu jinya a wannan gari a kyauta.
Wato kai baka ji labari ba?
Labari ne.
Labari ne. Kashe mutane ma kasan su ba?
Kashe mutane kamar ya ji wula kun kashe wannan mutumin nan wanda bai san wani abu ba. Yayin shi ko mutane ce sun ji wannan magana. To kashe zai fara a ta kasan su. Kuna ji na? kuma kashe-kashe ya fara ba za a ci gaba da kashe-kashen zamu zo mu yi asara mutane da yawa zamu zuba da girma mu kuma kokoro mu zai aske
kai ka huta
sai
ka shi za mu kashe shi ko
a ina ba zai yiwu ba zai da ku kashe shi ba in ba ku danna wani kashe-kashen ba ku da yanci na kashe mutane ba ku ba su rayuwa ba kariya ne kai kariya ne ku koma gida my friend kuma ku koma na damuwa kasa koi a Nigeria who are you who are ne ku yara kankara na da ba ku ba wiwi da marijuana da kwake kwadi sai ku sako kuna rawa ka kama bibiro ba yanzu kuke ku kashe me kama nan gani ba ku aje ku dana fata ba ko ku kashe ni ne amma sai na alaji kai my friend ku tafi jini yara shasha bayan ku zuma ku bi da ku ce duk Allah ku get out.
You can just give all the directors a virtual round of applause. We've just concluded viewing the first session, the films in the first session of this event. We had A Boy's Tale, which reflected gender-based violence. We had A Cry for Help, which reflected rape. We had Rancor, which reflected sickle cell anemia. And I thought I saw a little bit of gender-based violence or violence in general. And then finally, we had Vindication, which was focused on social justice and good governance. Now, it is time for us to ask our questions about any of the films. If you have any questions, feel free to indicate in the chat box or just drop them in the chat box so my co-moderator and I can go through and extract them. So while we are getting our questions ready, my first question is for Mr. Swanson. My question is, your film, what was the motivation behind it? And secondly, is it a personal story by any chance?
Hello, everybody, and good evening. My name is Swanson, and A Boy's Tale is not a personal story of me by any chance. It's just me looking into the society and thinking, how can I tell the story of sexual and gender-based violence, but not sticking to the stereotype of always telling it from the girl's angle? So how does it affect a boy, and how does the boy become who he will be in the future when he begins to act out on a girl or on his child or just being violent to other people? So I said it has to start from the family, from when he was young, and then so that's all it's about, trying to tell the story of a boy, bringing another perspective to the narrative.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Thompson. Please hold that thought. Somebody has a question. I can see Ria Mokun. Kindly unmute so that we can hear your question. Can Ria be?
Yes, thank you so much. There we go. Hi, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I do have a question for the film director of A Boy's Tale as well. I'm not sure if we could call it a question, more like an observation. I'd firstly like to say that was a beautiful use of the medium. The camera work was absolutely beautiful, especially considering that not a lot of the times the stories are basically told from like a third person point of view instead of actually like seeing it from a child's point of view. So that was very fascinating. That was very beautiful to see from that point of view. I heard what you said about the fact that predominantly these stories you hear from the female perspective. And I'm pretty sure it could be a cultural difference, I guess, because I'm in South Africa. Because what we normally see is more stories about it from the male's perspective and them trying to like toughen up and act like it doesn't affect them. But very often women are told not to talk about it or to push it under the rug. And as most of the world knows, gender-based violence and abuse is like huge in South Africa specifically. But anyway, my question or my observation is regarding the pauses, right? I don't know if you guys had like a specific script writer or if you guys had to you had to be somebody who wore many hats, maybe, because I do know that in this industry sometimes you have to wear many hats. Sorry, I'm going to be quick. I just wanted to know that in terms of like the emotiveness of the story, what was your process? Because if there's one thing that was very disappointing for me, because it was such a powerful film, is that there weren't enough emotive pauses. And there's a beauty in pausing and like letting somebody sit in the uncomfortability of the situation. It's like very powerful. So there were some moments where I felt like it rushed to move on to the next scene or the next phase, and I felt like we should have sat in those uncomfortable moments for a little bit longer, because you're trying to get that uncomfortable message across. So I just wanted to ask about like, how was the script process, especially when it came to the emotive side of things? And yeah, thank you. I hope that makes sense because I spoke a lot. I'm sorry.
Yes, it does. I just took some notes from what you said about the pauses, and I never gave it that thought. I wrote the script myself, and when writing, I just wanted to how a child would tell his story using his puppets, and he just tells his story. I wanted it to just be completely the way a child would do his thing, and not really going towards all the standing to, because when you watch children play, sometimes they don't really put so much thought. Even if when they put thoughts, they don't really care about, but they are just trying to drive out the message of what they are telling. So, like the character himself is telling his story with his toys, and maybe that's the only chance he has to even play. So he rushes to the um, storytelling process, and then we see the outcome of him just even playing outside. So it's just the way I could tell the story. I didn't think of it any other way.
Thank you very much, Rhea. Thank you, Thompson. All right, I have a second question, but before, not for you, Thompson, however, but before I ask it, is there anyone else who would like to ask Thompson a question or any other of the director's questions? I completely agree. That was a beautiful masterpiece. Thompson, really nice. And you passed your message across effectively in my books. So before I move ahead, does anyone else have any questions? All right, in the absence of any questions, we can move on. If you do come up with questions, put them in the chat box or indicate by raising your hand. So my second question is for Esso here, whose film was A Cry for Help, and it was about rape. And I thought that was really powerful storytelling. That without watching the video alone,
Thank you.
message really strong. But
Thank you.
rape is something in this generation and time that's becoming, increasing the awareness about it is starting to kick off. People are trying to push further so people can know how it happens, who are usually the perpetrators and all that. So I noticed in your film you centered more on rape within the home. And the mom being what do they call them? A participant, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yes. So I know right now the awareness, particularly in Nigeria, I could be wrong, is targeted towards youths. It's targeted towards middle-aged people. But most of this is ingrained in culture and tradition, so to speak. And your film centered on that. And there's this belief that in our tradition, you have to hush.
Keep quiet.
what do you think? I heard your message, but what do you think we can do particularly in our traditional setup? What can be done, or is there no hope whatsoever, or we just keep on reiterating the message? Do our parents listen? Do our grandparents listen? What do you think can be done? And if you don't have an answer, I completely understand. But I loved your message. It was clear, and it just got me thinking.
Okay, thank you so much. Hi, everyone. So basically, I feel like the whole stigma that has to do with sexual and gender-based violence, I feel like there's a whole lot that we need to do to affect our traditional system. And I know the thing that first of all, what basically motivated our poem was I was talking to a group of my friends when I was still in the university, and about two of them talked about how they were sexually molested when they were kids. And then another, I was kind of amazed. I was like, oh, that happened to you. And then another of my friend made a comment and she was like, it's a normal thing now. That was what she made. And then I was alarmed. And then I feel like the only thing at the moment where we are in Nigeria is to continue um, to push forward sensitizations and find ways to create more advocacy programs that can get to the people in the rural area. I know, for instance, like you said, it's to a large extent, I think people are becoming more aware about sexual and gender-based violence. And I feel like when we begin to find ways to interpret this message, interpret the dangers of sexual and gender-based violence in a way that the people at the grassroots can understand. There are things like people are coming up with market rallies, documentaries in pidgin English, find ways to just make people understand that, okay, this thing is real and you cannot and the only person that suffers in this thing is your children and everything. That's why in the poem I stated something about our loyalty is first to our children. I think there needs to be like constant sensitization of how this form of violence affects the psychological, mental, and even physical health of our children and everything. I don't know if I don't think we are there in Nigeria presently, but I feel like continuous dedication towards this will, in the long run, assist or help. And maybe one day our mothers will not feel like there's a need for them to cover this heinous or terrible thing that's happened to their children. They will feel like something has happened to my daughter, it has happened to me, and they would begin to feel the need to also speak out and be the voice for their children as well. And yeah.
Thank you very much, Esohe. I found that answer satisfactory. And something I really liked is you mentioning that we can translate most of our communication and sensitization into different languages. Do I hear you saying that your film will be translated into Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, and other dialects, Nigerian dialects, for that cause?
You said, sorry, your question again.
It's just on its lighter note. Do I hear you saying you'll be translating your short film?
If someone will help me, I can't speak my language, sadly, but if someone will help translate it, all well and good.
Ooh, hopefully someone here could be that plug. Thank you very much, Esohe. Does anyone else
I have a question.
Ooh, Thompson. All right, you have the floor.
Okay. Good. I think it's for Mr. Twansen Danen.
Okay.
I find that short film very maybe because it is a place that I have been before. I mean, growing up, I have been in an environment where I, not just being abused, but having my mom been abused by my dad and she later died. And that I try to look at the layers of the PTSD because there's so much that child is actually going through. So one of which I saw was like the area of the PTSD and how the art form, like the art of puppet making or something, was like an outlet for him to be able to express himself. I mean, showcasing what he was actually going through. And I find that I find that very instructive. So how do you think? Because I'm trying to see there are so many children who have been abused. So I'm trying to see the area. It's not just about the message. I'm looking at the components of your film, which is how to deal with art form as a form of expression for kids who are survivors of violence or gender-based violence, or depending on where they're coming from. So how did you come about that? What inspired that component of the film? Because I was wondering, why did you infuse that aspect of it? It could have just been a word or a talk or a spoken word.
Okay, please, I don't know who was talking.
My name is Kunle Adewale.
Okay, Kunle Adewale. Before I answer, I really enjoyed your playlist before we started this part of the event. So in psychosocial therapy, usually when you work with children, you are advised to use art as a form of relieving them of stress. And children, most of the time, will express themselves through art. Funny enough, you actually see the way it, like paintings and just the way they would do some things. They can just put out like a cry for help, and you have to really look into it before you can find it. And art has always been an art form that many people use to express themselves. For me, I'm an animator, and I make stop motion animations, and so those toys are. I always know that as a child, I always used toys to play. Like my imaginations go in toys. So how do I use this thing that my childhood experience to express what another child now would be doing? And how can this child tell another person what is happening to them without actually saying it directly? For somebody like me who went through that kind of experience of using toys, I can understand, oh, this is what this child is. So sometimes it's said that we should actually look around us and maybe telling us we may be blind to see because we think we've grown old, too old to understand those things. People say cartoons are for kids, which is a very big lie. So sometimes these are ways in which children tell us things that you need to know. And then the PTSD. In the story, I made sure to tell that the parents, that the mother who is going through the abuse with her child has an option. Usually we come from societies when you're told to stay and take it. Yeah, but our character mother had to save her child from that situation. I'm sorry for your own situation with your dad. And some people are not lucky enough, like my character, who was saved by his mom. But I'm just saying to somebody who is living in that situation, please save yourself and your child. Leave that situation and give your child an opportunity to grow, maybe in an environment where they can not become their fathers. So
how do you, sorry Franca, before you speak, because I see that. So how do you help them to find help? Because that child are finding help. Yes, how do you direct them to the right place or right professional or right persons? Because it's not about spotlighting or highlighting the problem. So what's the solution? What's the way forward? How do you think they can find help so that they don't become their trauma?
Yeah. So number one, first of what option I presented in the film was for the characters to leave that environment. Now, when they leave that environment, there are so many organizations that work to take care of people, NGOs and civil rights organizations, some psychosocial trauma centers and all that. Those are places they could go to. Because sometimes we could go to religious houses to present this kind of situation. And unfortunately, in our country, these are not things that people want. They always want you to hide it, just like Esoha's story, where the mom who is supposed to protect her child is the one who is trying to cover it up. And we have these situations where in our religious institutions, it's unfortunate though that they are supposed to help, but they don't really help most of the time. So you have to find somebody who is an expert in such situations, who is willing to help you come out from the trauma and give you opportunities to speak of what you feel, not trying to, people who would actually listen to your problem and help you find solution. Because in every problem, the solution lies with the person who has the problem. So if they can listen to you and help you find a good answer to the problem, then we can help people come out from those situations. And like people like me, filmmakers who would make films and show people solutions. Maybe in another film, I can show a solution beyond just this one I presented here, that leave the house. We can have a situation in another film where people actually going through trauma healing and coming out of it.
Mr. Kole, is that satisfactory? Mr. Kole?
I think it's okay. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I think.
Oh, wonderful. Twamsi, your hand is raised. Do you have a question?
Yes. For Esohe, I really like your story. For me personally, anytime something begins with a poetic form, I'm defeated by it. So I like it. So, and then I like the way you expressed the story. I like that you showed there's a system in place, a patriarchal system in place that women have keyed into for generations. It's not our fault. It's not their fault also that they've keyed into it, but just that they've learned it. Just like boys learn to be told that they shouldn't cry, like in my story.
Right. They shouldn't
And
be
also
emotional.
learn that some of the things that they do to harm themselves are things that they should expect, that they should take pride in. Now, it is good we are calling out these situations, like when you see who are the people who actually the police when it comes to these kind of situations. If there is a rape situation, who is the person that goes forward, like the mother now going to tell her child to keep quiet? Or you have a situation where female genital mutilation. Who are the people who actually embark on this? It's women. In situations where you talk of the widow situation where a woman's husband dies and then she's been made to go through all the process, and the actors in this situation, they are always women. So the orientation of people, hey, you're a woman. Why do you think you should be an actor in the person who is pushing this? You see, so if we can teach our children from young age, look, there's no difference between you and your brother. You guys should, or you and any other boy you see outside. You're just human beings.
Equal, yeah.
Yes, there's equality in our humanity. So we should teach people differently. The narrative, it has to start from a young age. Teach boys to grow as human beings and teach girls too to grow as human beings, not as a boy or the societal construct of being gender. So I really loved that about your story and how you express it.
Thank you.
Maybe if you are trying to do a translation to Hausa,
you would help.
Something, yeah, we could work on.
Wow.
We could do a double Hausa version for you.
Wow, that would be good though.
That's
Thank you very much, Johnson. Thank you, Esohe. Sadly, I can't take any more questions. So if you still have questions, feel free to use the chat box. Just drop it there and they will respond to you. We have one more question for Sebastian, but we'll use the chat box. With that, we come to the end of the first session, and I would hand over the virtual lectern to my co-moderator, Ms. Oyekonsola Talabi. Over to you.
Thank you, Franca. And thank you, everyone, for being here with us this evening. And thank you to all the directors for the short films that we just saw now. They were really, really powerful and all. And I'm so thrilled to be seeing these subjects, being discussed in mediums like film, because films are so powerful. They have the ability to, as much as they reflect what's in society, they also have the ability to change perspective. And so I'm really excited about what you have shared. And just to speak into something that, a narrative that was coming out as we were talking, as in, okay, so how do we change this? How do people get help? And why is everything shrouded in such mystery? I think that some of the reasons, at least this is my thinking now. I'm thinking that sometimes because there's really no avenue for help or no known avenue for conversation is why a lot of the times the parents or the mother or, people just sort of shush it up because they actually don't know what to do. They're not equipped. They don't have the emotional capacity, the mental capacity. They just don't know. So they're like, let's just lock it in that room. Let's not deal with that. I know, but so I'm really excited and so the more we have conversations like this, the more that, that perspective will change and people will know that, there's actually power in conversation. And that's why I'm also equally excited to be moderating the session on mental wealth awareness, even though all these other films in session 1 all touched on mental health imbalances and disorders. And the next sessions that we're going to, or the next films that we're watching in this session are dealing with maternal mental health and just general mental health awareness. Mental health is something that is stigmatized across, not just Nigeria, across Africa. And the big change that we see, or the big difference we see in the West is because they have conversations about it. And so the more filmmakers are doing, showing the right perspective, then that conversation will change over here as well. So we're going to be watching a film called A Girl in a Sack by Agba Emmanuel. Agba Emmanuel is a filmmaker and a journalist. I hope he's here with us. And then we also have Angel in Skin by Samuel Babarinde and Olawumi Precious, filmmakers, film directors and writer. And then we have Dark Side by Samara Almira. Samara Almira Chichera. I'm so sorry if I killed your name. Forgive me. Who's an actor and a voiceover artist. And then we have the last one we'll be screening is Fati Bombom by Balogun Ibrahim Oyinlola. So again, before we jump into the first film, again, if you have any thoughts, any comments, you can put them in the chat box and then you can share them after the session when we are conversing with the directors. Okay, so first film, please. A Girl in a Sack.
wata kauye mai suna Sarwati. A wannan kauyen an yi wayansu masoya guda biyu, Abdul da Amina. To sai dai kuma an samu matsala saboda iyayen Amina ba su kaunace Abdul da auren Amina ba. Saboda a zatonsu Abdul ba daga gidan masu kuɗi ba ya fito. To sai dai kuma mutane biyun nan sun so junansu da a wurinsu ba za su iya rabuwa ba. To an yi wata taro. A wannan taron kuma kawun Amina ya amince wai Amina sai dai ta aure surukin shi. Sai Amina taka yanke hukunci ta gudu da Abdul. Da suka gudu sai iyayen Abdul suka ɗaura masa aure. Bayan auren Abdul da Amina, sai ɗan uwan Amina suka bi Amina zuwa gidan mijinta. Suka je suka roke ta cewa ta koma gida da su saboda iyayen Abdul da Abdul su zo su doke ta daga gida da aminci. To sanadiyar rantsuwan da sun yi da Alkur'ani mai girma shine Amina taka amince ta bi su. Da sun tafi da Amina, Amina na hanya da su sai suka fitar da Amina suka shiga dukanta. A wannan dukan da suke yi ma Amina take kuka take roke su. Ko tunani ma cewa Amina 'yar uwansu ne ba su yi ba. Su duke Amina har ranta ya fita. Haka Amina na kuka tana roke su. Da sun tabbatar cewa Amina kuma ba rai sai suka sata a cikin buhu. Tun da dama kawunta na da hannu akan duka abubuwan da suka shirya. Sai aka je azubar da Amina, da azubar da ita sai suka koma. Wannan kauyen dai, wannan mutanen da wannan masoyan ba su kara ji daga garin juna ba. To haka soyayyansu ta tarwase. Ni ne kanuwan Amina.
Every human being has his or her rights to what he feels is good for him. Whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim, the Bible or the Quran does not give one's right to kill. And fundamentally in our society, everybody has the right for freedom of association as to who you want to be with. There's attraction that took her to the man she said she wants to marry. And what the family did is wrong and should be condemned by everyone who loves peace.
Oh, wow. Okay, so thank you. That was A Girl in a Sack by Agba Emmanuel. That's an interesting one to talk about. Okay, the next one that we're going to, so hold on to your questions, put them in the chat box. The next one that we're going to is Angel in Skin by Samuel Babanride and Olanwumi Precious.
Once in my life, finally found someone who truly loves me. So beautiful, so loving too. Feels like my dreams have come true.
I remember when we first met. Feels just like yesterday.
I remember you trying to have all Van Damme. The way is good.
Feel like we're forming hard guy. Is this not you in my arm? I love you too. And there's no letting go.
Ah, he said he loves me. Hallelujah.
Well, I will stand up. Let me go and prepare the pot before they come and sack somebody.
Calm down now. I want to sack you. They can't sack you. Uriade or Komade. Don't worry, you're covered.
You know that it's Baba Imade that owns the company. I'll stand up, Jare.
Wait! You can actually own the company.
You know me. You know me. Just stand up.
Iye, what are you doing on by this time?
coming.
What took you so long? What's wrong? You're not answering me. What took you so long?
What are you doing here? Why
What
didn't you
kind
call
of-
me before coming?
What kind of question is that?
Courtesy demands that when you're going to see someone, you call first.
I called you. Your number was switched off. And besides, why do I have to call you before coming? You gave me your keys, remember?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't.
What's that smell?
Why are you here? What's going on?
Are you for real? Why am I here? Yeah, you're beginning to shout at me.
I will shout. You came here unannounced. So,
Here's your key. I've always avoided having issues with you, and you're raising your voice at me because I came to your house.
Come. Sorry. It's just pressure. I'm sorry.
What kind of pressure should have made you raise your voice at me?
This is not you. It's not you. I got sacked.
What? You got sacked? Why?
I don't know.
Was it because of... Yeah, what's this? What's this? Ow! Ow!
Is it that serious?
Imagine, that was just it. I just went to cook and it slumped.
Hey, that's bad though. So what's the doctor saying?
Yeah, the doctor says we'll be fine. Yes, it should. But I won't be able to come back today.
Okay. It is well though.
Sorry, let me call you back. Baby. Sorry. Baby, when did you start doing drugs?
Should I say
Been a
it?
while.
Should I not? Should I
Just
fight
supposed to
should
be.
I run? I
It was
wanna
just one
scream
bad
it,
result.
I wanna shout it
I was just
loud.
supposed to take my mind off it,
But
and
people could
took
judge
over.
me.
It got power
See, I'm
over
scared
me.
my baby can leave me. And they can say I'm crazy. I do drugs and I know I'm not healthy. I need some space, I'm beginning to choke. These things I take, they make me loco. I can help it, it's sweet like choco. I know it's bad, but I need some cocoa. I'm trying to find you to be my fire.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome.
How do you feel now? You'll be fine. Carry out a series of tests, and then chemicals you've injected have affected some vital organs. But you'll be fine. Your liver is fine. So let me have this file.
Okay, sir.
Let me open too. Okay. Everything seems good. Just add a little more dose and just put them on detoxifier. You'll be fine. Okay. So Mr. Annie, don't worry. You're all good. You'll be fine. Stay strong, yeah?
Doctor,
Yes?
can I discontinue his drip?
Yeah, you can do that. In 5 minutes time, you can do that. And I know we're all good. Yeah?
Alright, thank you, doctor.
Yeah, welcome.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Just stay strong for me, okay?
It's bad, but I need some cocoa.
But you need to now more than ever. Now is the time for you to stand by him.
I'll tell you everything, I promise I will let you in. Cause it's done, they kill me, I'm getting lean. Like black and blue, promise you help me through it. Say I'll be fine and I'll stop it. If if you show me, I'll drop it. I'm not perfect and I'm sorry, but if you help me, I'll say no to drugs. Cause it done they kill me slow, slow. I'll say no to drugs, even if it's sweet.
Imade.
Yep.
Omolara proposed to Jide today. Can
Are
you
you
imagine?
serious?
Like,
Omolara
serious.
did what?
She proposed. A lady.
Proposed
Yes,
to it.
my sister.
But actually, there's nothing wrong
No,
in
it's
it.
wrong.
Actually,
It's
it's not
wrong.
wrong. She expressed
please.
that feeling.
Yes, my sister.
She's not wrong. So you are saying if you see a guy you like now, you won't propose to him?
No, I won't. I won't at all.
So girls, wait. So if I decide to propose to Yebi now,
You can't propose to Yebi.
you will not support
No,
me.
no, you
Babe,
won't
come
do
on,
that.
this is
What
the
did you are saying
21st
once
century.
here?
Oh, the 21st century, baby. You have to be sharp. Please complete the gist about the proposal. How did you go? Hope he said yes.
Of course.
See the
atmosphere.
Oh, wow. So baby, you need to try it out.
No,
Like, there's no harm in trying.
can't.
There's no harm.
Wow, speaking of the devil.
No. Speaking of the angel, my baby is an angel. Hey, baby.
Madi, where are you?
What's wrong, B?
There's a problem.
Don't do it. I'll be there in a few minutes. Don't do it.
Am I missing something? What should you not do?
Nothing. See you guys later.
Like choco, I'll say no to drugs, cause it only make me look up. I'll say no to drugs, even if it's sweet like choco. I'll say no to drugs, don't they kill me slow, slow. No, I'll say no to drugs, even if it's sweet like choco. I'll say no to drugs, cause it only make me look up. I'll say no to drugs, cause it only kill me slow, slow. I'll say no to drugs.
Another powerful film and another very, very important conversation for us to have, drug abuse and the pressures for it. Okay, nice one. So the next film that we're going into is Dark Side by Samara Almira Chichera. Dark Side. She's here.
Say somebody has committed suicide. It didn't happen at that last attempt.
It will reach a point that I started questioning myself, what on earth am I here for? Is it to be fixing all these challenges?
There are a lot of things that I need to be able to discharge this feeling, but
substance abuse and depression are the commonest cause of suicide.
I think it's a normal thing for people to get the idea of committing suicide and all.
Forgive us for that. We're having a technical moment, but the film will come back on any minute now. Okay. Technical, what's the problem? So we know how to mitigate. Okay, so I guess while we're waiting for the film to come back on, I'm thinking maybe we can talk to the director of the first film that we saw. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Do we have Agba Emmanuel around? Agba Emmanuel, are you here? Can you signify if you're here? Frank, do you see him?
No, I don't see him. I was just scrolling through the participant list. He's not currently here.
Okay. Well, we have the director of Angel in Skin, Samuel Babaride. I think I saw that name as I scrolled.
He's in.
Samuel Babaride, are you here? Yes, he is. I see him. Hi, Samuel. Babaride Samuel. I'm sorry, Babaride is your first name, right? Can you unmute yourself so we can hear you?
He's unmuted, or there might be some technical glitch. Oh, he's unmuted.
Hello, Babaride Samuel. How are you doing? Okay, we're definitely having a technical moment. Can everyone hear him, or is that just me?
I can hear him.
You can?
I cannot.
Okay. Okay, Babaride, we cannot hear you. Are you connected to the audio?
So while he's still trying to unmute himself or try to find his way, can I play that 1 minute? I can't find the 4 minutes batch. Okay.
Okay, so we're back to the film Dark Side. So Babaride, we'll come back to you after we've shown the films. Go back to this.
Say somebody has committed suicide. It didn't happen at that last attempt.
It will reach a point that I started questioning myself, what on earth am I here for? Is it to be fixing all these challenges?
There are a lot of things that I need to be able to discharge this feeling, but
Substance abuse and depression are the commonest cause of suicide.
I think it's a normal thing for people to get the idea of committing suicide and all.
When a person wants to die, then something is wrong. And a lot of times, people just need to know that help is available.
You want to give a suicidal person a sense of companionship.
So nobody is immune to mental health disorder.
So we've shown a 1 minute clip of the Dark Side. We'll move on to Fati Bom Bom, and then even in the 1 minute, the message was really clear and pungent. So we'll move over to Fati Bom Bom, and then we'll come back and then have that conversation with all the directors. And all. So Fati Bom Bom by Balogun Ibrahim Oyinlola.
Will you open this door, Ben? Ben! Call him now, tell him to see your man.
Are you going to open the door?
Ben! I don't even know what he's up to. Ben! Ben! Sorry. This is a private organization.
Sorry.
A corporate place.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm very sorry, ma'am.
Mr. Matthew,
I'm very sorry, ma'am. Very sorry.
take caution.
Sorry, ma'am.
I know that everything was my fault. I cheated on him just once. That was just once, and he could not just forgive me. Now, I can't stop him from bringing ladies home. And I begged for forgiveness. Now my marriage is dying. My home is breaking, and I don't know what to do. It's driving me crazy. I don't know.
Mrs. Abigail, you will be fine. Sit. You're not perfect. No one is. That is one thing you should understand. Do me a favor. Do not omit any of the steps I gave to you. Do not omit any of the guidelines. And you'll be fine. You put yourself together. Huh? You need a hug. It's okay. Make sure you keep yourself in good shape. It's okay. Our next meeting is next week, of course. We will revisit this case.
Sorry about that. We'll go back to the film. There's an ad in between.
Sorry, was it the right film?
Yes, it was, but there was an ad in between, so it was the ad that came on, but it was the
Oh,
right
really?
film. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
so just skip the ad.
You know.
YouTube monetization thing.
Ben! Will you open this door? Ben! Ben! Call him now. Tell him to see your father.
Are you going to open the door?
Ben! I don't even know what he's up to. Ben! Ben!
Sorry.
This is a private organization.
Sorry.
A corporate place.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm very sorry, ma'am.
Mr. Matthew,
I'm very sorry, ma'am. Very sorry.
take caution.
Sorry, ma'am.
I know that everything was my fault. I cheated on him just once. That was just once, and he could not just forgive me. Now, I can't stop him from bringing ladies home. And I begged for forgiveness. Now my marriage is dying. My home is breaking, and I don't know what to do. It's driving me crazy. I don't know.
Mrs. Abigail, you will be fine. Sit. You're not perfect. No one is. That is one thing you should understand. Do me a favor. Do not omit any of the steps I gave to you. Do not omit any of the guidelines. And you'll be fine. And you put yourself together. Huh? You need a hug. It's okay. Make sure you keep yourself in good shape. It's okay. Our next meeting is next week, I suppose. We'll revisit this case.
Google Digital Skills for Africa. They give more than 40 online courses where they free. You fit.
Hey, Mr. Ben. Yeah, so how are your parents? How's everyone at home? Any news for me?
I don't talk. What do you write whenever I come here?
I write what you do.
What do I do?
You eat.
So you write, he eats. But you seem to be writing a report.
Yeah. A long time ago, when I was still a teenager, I had a boyfriend, a very ugly one. Yeah, he was the only one I could date because no other boy in school would date me. I had too many spacing in my teeth, so it made me ugly.
What has that got to do with me?
Well, on my 25th birthday, I looked at the mirror and I realized my teeth are really beautiful. Where do you go to whenever you live here?
Oh.
Your parents called and said you come late whenever you come for your sections.
What did you tell them?
You'll find out when you get home. Have a good day, Mr. Ben. Hello? Yeah, the next person. Thank you.
We are on holiday, but as SS3 students, summer coaching was mandatory because WAEC was fast approaching.
Okay, so you girls went for birthday.
Yes, we know.
And I wanted to take you girls out. So I'm starting. That one is not our business.
I understand that point, but that's all I have. But she finally dated that guy.
Do you understand it is not necessary for people to like what you like? One man's meat is another man's poison, Ben.
I know. I tried blending, but it's hard. Very hard to be someone else.
At what point did it become too much a weight for you, someone that you thought suicide was the best option?
We were almost done with coaching when our teachers found out Tolani was pregnant. The boy denied it. She became a laughingstock in school.
Why do you have to be so mean like this? Why do you have to push her?
Press it to confirm.
I saw it as an opportunity to show her that I really care. So I told our class teacher that I was responsible for the pregnancy.
So you've got your own business and you're doing everything you can to promote it. But market.
See.
I know my son. Hello, Mr. Man, what are you saying now?
Tolani was summoned and she denied me. I got trashed for fooling my teacher.
Thank you. You can go. I still do not think that is enough reason for you to attempt suicide.
Tolani died at childbirth. Life seemed valueless to me afterwards.
You really liked her.
No, I loved her. And I still do.
Permit me to tell you that you have no idea what love means.
I almost lost my. I thought I was really losing my mind. I thought I was.
At least we didn't lose them.
People body shamed him a lot. Are you aware of that?
Of course, he's fat. What do you expect?
Yes. No.
They would tease him.
No. It got to an emotional side of him. Not everyone would be as strong-minded as you are. Definitely not a child.
Yeah.
I guess now you know where you should balance off as parents.
I do.
You know how to do your check and balances.
Yes, we do.
Stop crying. What is your future ambition?
I want to become an actor.
And why do you want to become an actor?
Because I want to make people laugh.
Then your stature is the best thing you've got.
Most actors are slim.
Do you know Agabelo, Yoruba film star?
Yes, I know him.
Does he not make people laugh?
Yes, he does. But...
No but, Ben. You can go into comedy. With that, you will make people laugh out of their sorrow. Your body fat is an advantage for you.
I'm looking for number 2 Johnson Street.
That's quite simple. Turn left.
Being attracted starts with you, and no matter what people say, you don't miss be you. Get your way into the game.
Wow, that was a really good one. Well, they've all been good. I know. Thank you so much. So now we're up for questions, comments, and feedback. Do we have Agba Emmanuel in the house now? He directed A Girl in a Sack. Agba Emmanuel, are you here? It'd be really interesting to get his thoughts on honor killing and what influenced or inspired that film. Okay, well, since he's not here, we can go to Angel in Skin. Samuel Babarinde. know he was here earlier. Are you still here, Samuel?
I don't think he's here anymore, but I am here.
I am here being...
Allow me, Precious.
Okay, Precious, you were the co-writer on that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, nice. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for making the time.
Thank
so
you.
Tell us, what inspired the film? Did you write it or did you direct?
I wrote it.
Oh, wow, okay, awesome. So what inspired it?
Majorly, I wanted to pass a conscious message, and I wanted to put it out there for people that would people that would think that they do not have a hope, people that would think that they are in it and they cannot get out. So I just wanted to promote love and to also promote the hope that they can actually get out.
Yeah, I mean, that is important because we do have a drug epidemic with our youth, yes. And letting them know that there is a way out, or that they are not alone. I know, but then how do we stop them, or how do we encourage people to not even get sucked into it? Because, you know, once you get into it and coupled with peer pressure, it just becomes, and not just peer pressure, by the time you look at the socioeconomical pressures, because like in this story, it was a socioeconomical story, pressure that pushed him in that direction. So it's how do we find the balance, or how do we help people find the balance?
Majorly,
how do you find the balance?
Majorly, I think NGOs have a large part to play in this, because I feel like we can change everybody one person at a time, but it's going to take a very long time, and we're going to need so many people to do that. That's why every opportunity we get, we try to, as much as possible, pass a conscious message to make sure that these people see it. And if we're in their faces most of the time, it's going to be easier to at least convince them to do something about it, to change.
Okay, but do you think that inside that they want to change? Do you think that people that are addicted to drugs actually want the change? Because it is a way of escape. So are they wanting to not escape?
Most of them are pressured. So if we tackle the problem, if we take away the problem, most of them don't really have a reason to do these things. So if we tackle the problem, I think the problem is the major thing. And if we get to the root of the problem, we can actually bring them out of it.
Okay, so can you state like 2 problems that you would say is what encourages for the youth, for the Nigerian youth in particular? What would you say are the 2 major problems that encourage drug use?
Unemployment and body shaming. Fatty Bom Bom that we just saw, the guy could have actually gone into drug abuse because of something like that. So we need to also change the value system. The value system at the grassroots is a little bit shaky. So we need to actually push more for the value system.
Yeah, for the grassroots, yeah, at grassroots level. Okay, that's a powerful point, because we do need to go grassroots level as well in all the interventions that we're bringing up. But that also takes me to the film Dark Side, that talks about suicide. Suicide was the core of that film. And substance abuse, you know, there was a statistic that they showed that substance abuse and depression are one of the leading factors to that leads to suicide. So like in this film, in your film of Angel in Skin, it seemed like the guy was actually literally trying to kill himself with the drug overdosing. I know, so that's tied in with the substance abuse, depression, and could eventually lead to suicide. Do we have well, thank you so much for your time, Precious.
No problem.
I know, but I want to sort of tie it into Dark Side. Do we have the director for Dark Side? Samara Almira. I remember I saw that name up here.
She doesn't appear to be in the room at the moment, but I did see her previously.
Yeah, I did. Okay, well, Patti Bombom was also written by Balogun Ibrahim Oyinlola. Balogun, sorry?
Oh, I sent you a link now. You called me. Should I send you a link? What are you going to feature in today?
Mr. Kunle, are you speaking to me or to us? Is Balogun Ibrahim Oyinlola around? I mean, the topic of that film was body shaming. I guess that was one of the core things that came out. And again, suicide. Suicide is a big challenge that we're having in Nigeria. Apparently, as of 2017, there was a World Health Organization report that said 1 in 4 Nigerians already suffer from a mental health disorder, and that the stats across Africa is that depression and suicide are really high. The number is increasing since the pandemic, and Nigeria is number 1 on that list. So we do have a big problem that is literally on our hands. And then body shaming. I loved the statistic there was a note that was put there that body shaming does not resolve obesity. It really doesn't. I know, because even if even if the people that are body shamed go ahead and lose weight, then you now find out that there are other psychological problems, other psychological issues that have been developed because of that. Like in this film, the suicide that was a result of that, of body shaming, the peer pressure that even the girl was under. I know that there are really a lot of layers to some of the challenges that we have. Does anybody have any comment on any of these films? And for me, it's how do we change the narratives? Because as much as we're having conversations are good. It's always the first way to at least bring into our awareness that we have a problem. And also, I'm really grateful and excited. Sorry?
I have a comment, sorry.
Okay, so who's this now? Is this Franca?
Yes, it's Franca.
Okay, yes, shoot.
Thank you. I can see the director for Patti Bombom is here, and my comment is actually directed to him.
Okay, so do we want to bring him on? Ibrahim, can you unmute yourself so we can meet you? We just screened your film, Patti Bombom.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening, Ibrahim.
Good evening, Ibrahim.
Franca, can we pin him so we can see his face?
Oh, can you please share your video, Mr. Ibrahim? If that is going, oh, wonderful. Okay, so let's see if we can spotlight him.
Awesome.
Okay, let me see if I can just spotlight you.
Hello, Ibrahim Balogun. Thank you for joining us.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
All right, thank you. Ibrahim, your film was wonderful, by the way. I like how you focused on bullying and how it affects mental health and body shaping as well, and the impact on one's mental health. So I also like the fact that you took things before getting help, professional help. But similar to what Natasha said in the chat box, I had my reservations for the therapist with the way they address things like that's not enough. You commit suicide or you don't know anything about love. I feel it to send the wrong message. I could be wrong. Maybe they had other intentions with that scene. But coming off as that, I imagine a therapist is supposed to be neutral. It's not supposed to express his or her opinions on her clients. But in this scene, we see her antagonizing him, and yeah, it wasn't particularly a pleasant sight. So I really wanted to know what your intentions were. Was that deliberate? If it wasn't, what are you going to do going forward about it? Because it's out there now, and we don't want to give people the wrong impression that therapists behave that way, particularly in Nigeria, that we're skeptical about therapy.
Okay. Thank you for thank you so much for thank you so much for the review. The scriptwriter that wrote the script actually did all this, put all this in place, whereby there's a particular, like the guy, Ben, did not at first started talking, and she was not antagonizing him. Most times when he comes to our face, he's always eating and he's not going to talk. But when we're shooting, when we're having the principal photography of the film, there were some technical issues we had, both during the production and post-production. So we had to remove some scenes away. So some of the scenes we removed were scenes in the therapy session, whereby therapy was just writing all what Ben was doing, eating every time. That's why you see in a particular scene, Ben asked, "What do you always write when I come here?" Then she said, "I write, you eat." Then Ben said that, "Oh, you just write he eats." So that's it. So before she wrote the script, actually, she went on YouTube to watch YouTube therapy session. We're not involved. We're not in it. Hello?
We can hear you.
Yes, I'm done talking.
Yeah. You know, I think I actually got that feel that it seems like the therapist had tried other ways with the guy, and so her approach at this point in time, you know, where she came across as a little harsh and cold, was it seemed like she was frustrated with the guy. I was just trying another approach. I kind of get what you're saying, but I also connect with the comment from the comment that she did come across a little harsh. But yeah, so thank you for shedding light on that, for bringing perspective to that.
I don't know if you want me to add additional comments. The thing is, she had to say something. She had to say something to bring out words from
Trigger
Ben's
him
mouth.
to speak.
Because Ben is not ready to speak. He's a 15-year-old boy that got victimized or got body shamed, and that already removed his self-confidence and talking skills and all of that. So she had to look for something, maybe a personal issues, to talk to him about, so he can start saying his own matter. Yeah. So I feel that's the reason why she was being harsh at first.
But what inspired this film? What inspired it?
What inspired the film is actually I'm a chubby person. I'm the producer of the film, and I also acted Ben in the film. So I've had very high confidence about myself since when I was small. But still, many people outside will see me, they'll say, "Oh, horrible, fatibombo, and blah, 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 blah," and all of that. But it didn't get to me actually, because I mean, what you say won't do nothing to me. It's not your fat shaming that will reduce the fatness in my body, actually. So, but I noticed that if I have so much confidence in myself, what about people out there that don't have that much confidence in themselves? Yeah. And people don't know that body shaming or fat shaming has led to suicide and all of that, even outside Nigeria.
Yeah.
So
it also leads to food eating disorders.
Problem that,
yeah.
Yeah. Addressed very well. Body shame people. But instead, call people and talk to them. Don't body shame, don't embarrass people outside because of their body. They were created by God, the same God that created you too. And the fact that you have a good body position does not mean you are better than them. So that is what Fatty Bom Bom is all about.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for that perspective. Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask a question, but I think this is such an important highlight. It's very, because sometimes I think sometimes we pay attention to it, but that's a lot of problem, even with children. Children,
particularly with children.
Goes to school. Yeah, their mates or their peers call them, you're fat, you're this, and they will cry. They will lose concentration in school. How much more somebody who's growing to becoming a teen or adult, so they grow with that, low self-esteem, and the internet has made it worse. Cyberbullying. That's another version of what you have just spotlighted in your film. And how can we? For me, I mean, beyond you highlighting this problem, how can we be involved? So how can I be involved in advocacy, in standing up for other people that are being body shamed? How can we stand in the gap? How can we speak for them? How can we defend them? Because I think we all have work to do. So how can we do that? I mean, that's my question. I'm throwing that back to the moderator and so the person here.
I'm throwing that back to all the filmmakers and everybody here. What's the way forward?
As the producer of the film, I actually thought about the solution, and I think many people need to be talked to about this thing. I feel this film should reach beyond Nigeria alone. It should go over the world. Let people watch it and let people know that you body shaming people is not the solution. Actually, see, I have friends that have already called me that, oh, Ibrahim, you need to go eat the gym. Oh, Ibrahim, you need to start watching your weight and all of that. These are my friends. I feel if people outside today you can just see me outside and talk to them that, oh, wow, you're getting too big. You might be obese and all of that. Go eat the gym or start doing anything like that. Just call. It's not that you not start calling people names outside, Fatty Bom Bom or Robo. And look, I know it's a crime abroad to call someone fat. Fat abroad, it's a criminal word to say. If you say fat to someone abroad, you'll be arrested. You use the word big for them instead of fat. So why can't we have this type of things too in Nigeria, whereby people are not allowed to call someone fat? Because fat is too much a word to say to someone. And another perspective I would have loved this film to go is not only about fat people, thin people, especially females that are thin, that you see guys, them walking outside and guys telling them that you don't have front, you don't have back. All these things too are part of body shaming. Slim people are also body shamed. But it's just that we have high percentage of fat people that are being body shamed. So I think people need to be oriented on just look at people. If you cannot just call them to private and talk to them, don't embarrass them outside. Don't belittle them. Don't let them feel less of themselves outside. I think that is what we need. We need to just talk to people about this. That is it.
Yeah, let me just speak into that, because as much as we say talk to people, like one of the things that I do, if I hear anybody being called horrible, right there and then I address it. I don't care who it is that has made the comment, but I address it as in, you cannot speak to someone like that. That is rude type thing. So the more we do that, but I think that, there's something, so yes, it is education, but, we need to get to people to, again, understand respect, just respecting one another. There's something about the way we speak in Nigeria that comes across as aggressive, particularly when we don't have the words to convey what it is that we're trying to say. Then we then use words like horrible. I know the root of it might be to say, oh, you need to lose some weight. But the way that it now comes out. I know. So I agree. But I think that one way that we can all make a difference is correct it anywhere that you're any environment that you're in and body shaming is going on. And I agree with you, thin people or slimmer people are also body shamed as well. Short people are body shamed. I used to run a gym, and a lot of the overweight people in there were body shamed into the gym. I know, and so I know that it's a big problem. Any other thoughts from anyone here on what we can do, even as a collective? So we have films now that are talking about these issues, which I'm so excited about, because the more we see this kind of representation in films and in like documentaries, short documentaries, the more it is that we can start to engage that narrative and change that narrative. And like someone said in the film earlier, one of the films that we saw earlier, I think was a Cry for Help, about how can we even, these short films that we have access to, how do we even change them to different languages, Nigerian languages, so that more people can engage with it. So we have just one more question. We're way past our time now. So we'll take one more question. I hear that somebody's hand is up. Whose hand is up? Because for some reason I cannot see.
I'm saying.
Okay, Twansen, hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's your question? Who's it directed to? Or is it just a
it's
comment?
It's a comment to Ibrahim Balogun. I really like your film. I like the story, the idea of body shaming. So some people see children and then they body shame children most of the time, and it really affects their psyche, just like Kunle said earlier. Now, I'm thinking of a solution towards this is putting it into a curriculum, like in schools, from primary schools, teachers, like these are the people, most of the time that's where this happens, in schools. Where you go in schools, your peers and everybody insults you about your body. But if now teachers can begin to teach in schools about respecting other people's body and how they look and all that, then the children will learn from school that they don't need, and also have places where they could report such situations of bullying. Bullying. I know, like for the SDGs, there are platforms in which teachers are. It's called GCD Online Campus, where a teacher is taught how to be able to teach the development goals to children in schools. So, if also a platform of sorts, in which teachers are taught how to take care of children about respecting each other, the rights for people to be how they should be, then from school level, from primary level to secondary, everybody understands that you shouldn't try and treat somebody in that way, because it will mentally, like our character in the film. Yeah. Also, you could see how the character, the story, the boy's mother in the story was like, yeah, he's fat, so it's not a problem. But her too, she's fat also. So why the boy, why should the boy have it when he can see his mother to being fat? She's not setting a good example for him. I just feel so. There's so much about people wanting you to do and you're not setting a good example for them.
I hear you. Thank you for that comment, Twasen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. It was really.
It's a very quick one.
Sorry?
Please, can I get a part of recording of this thing, of this video meeting we're having?
It will be
Yes, we
available on
can talk.
YouTube. It will be available on YouTube. Maybe the next 3 or 4 hours. It will be available.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you to all the filmmakers who submitted